an expert. I'm not a professional. I'm just a normal person on YouTube sharing with you what I'm doing currently, what I'm doing right now when it comes to investing, how things have changed thanks to the world we're living in right now. I'm not really expecting a lot of people on here because I never, so far, this is my second live, I have never announced going live. So I'm not expecting anyone. I'm still nervous right now. It'll take me a minute for the nerves to wear out. And then, but anywho, how are we? How are we doing? Like I said, I just wanted to share with you guys what I'm doing when it comes to investing because there is a change in what I've been saying or preaching to do. I'm usually all for, invest in ETFs, invest in index, it's safer that way. But these are different. Am I the only one who feels like we're in this? Well, I know I'm not the only one. We're in an AI boom. It's almost like those booms of that you hear about from back in the 2000s or the 80s, the tech boom. If you've ever wanted to if you wish you got into Facebook or when internet first started, what is it, Yahoo and all that, those guys who got in early and made all this money down the road because tech blew up or the internet blew up, it feels like we're back in that. It feels like this is it. We're at that spot in life where AI is taking off. And so if you get in now, invest now where a stock is only what, a couple dollars, a few dollars, boom, it blows up. It feels like that's where we're in right now. And that has changed my game, my investment games and plans, right? So if you had invested $1,000 in Palantir in 2022, just 3 years ago, you would have $15,000 right now. 15. This one hurts because I knew of Palantir and I was like, no, 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 I'm not doing it single stocks and it's too risky. 15,000. If you had invested $1,000 in Nvidia 5 years ago, you would have $14,000 today. So it feels like, and I know it's more than feels like, we are at this point in time where this is the time to get into the AI stocks. Now, remember, I'm not a professional. I'm not an expert. I really just got into investing not that long ago. So this isn't telling you to go buy stocks. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing. Okay. So the thing is, having this feeling like this is a time to jump in, I'm no longer preaching the do not buy single stocks, right? It's changing our plan. So previously, our investment plan was just upping our retirement via my husband's work, upping how much we contribute to that. And then, here and there, we would buy a couple things here and there. But it was mostly, the S&P 500 or one growth ETF. Just, we'll throw some money in that. And then last year, we got into Nvidia because Nvidia, I knew was going to, it sounded like it'll make a lot of money. And I was like, let's jump in. It was exciting. Let's jump in. Other than that, we really don't have any game plan. But now, because of this AI boom going on, now I'm excited. Now I'm like, let's jump in, especially missing out on Palantir. Anything that has to do with AI utilization, energy. If you know of how, if you read up on and research, research is a deep word, but if you read up on and consume contents about it, then you're more exposed or you're more aware of AI and AI usage and stocks and companies that develop anything AI or anything AI adjacent. So our plan now, in addition to retirement, of course, we are going to start looking into investing in single stocks. And when I say single stocks, I mean companies, right? Because before I was all about ETFs and indexes because those are less risky, right? But now we're like, you know what? Yeah, let's get in, right? Let's get in so we can buy in early and hopefully 5 years from now, we too can make $15,000, right? Because the difference now is unlike Amazon or what's the other company or Netflix, we don't have to wait 10, 20 years for your stocks to be worth a lot. With AI, in just a couple years. Boom. You make money on your stocks. Now, I know this sounds very naive. I'm very aware this is a risky thing, but stick with me for a minute. The crazy part of this whole thing is that within a short period of time, you end up making 100% more, 200% more on your initial investment. So it feels as though, who knows when this will come around. And I hate to say that because who knew of AI 8 years ago? So who knows? Another opportunity could come around. But the fact that we are now living at a time when we can be those early investors and buy in super low and get 300, 200% more on our investment is just, can you tell I'm excited? I'm like, let's make money. My eyes are open. I'm awake. I want to earn money. So our investment strategy has changed in that we're now looking at, okay, where can we buy in? And the plan is, all right, we could spread out however amount of money we want to spend for the month in investment. And when I say, I don't mean like a lot of money because we have other responsibilities, other things we're doing. But whatever it is we're doing over a month, maybe break it down weekly, we buy in. And that way it helps reduce the risk a little bit because also with it, it's still a risky move, So every week we would then buy in into a couple stocks that we want to, right? A couple single stocks. I have my notes here that I'm looking at so I don't go out of, so I don't, just ramble off. So, right, the plan is every week we would just buy in into the individual stocks that we're looking at doing. Or if we're comfortable, maybe just however amount we want to do, buy in right away, right? Because the stock market, like I said in a previous video, is completely different from the economy right now. The economy, I don't know, you could disagree with me, but the economy to me is in stagflation. Things are expensive, cost of living is high, wages are still stagnant. So the economy not so good, but the stock market, on the other hand, is booming, and it's because of AI, right? AI is really pushing everything up, and so we are very comfortable just investing right now into it. But then, like I said, because high reward comes high risk, right? We're very aware of that, especially if you're doing single stocks, buying into a single company compared to buying a whole bucket of companies to reduce your risk. It's high risk. And, a boom is a boom until it busts, right? So you don't always, and this is something we're still considering, you don't have to do single stocks or buy into a single company. You could still buy ETFs that are heavy on the AI stocks, right? You could, and the way you tell, because I know, I really like the fact that people who are not comfortable with investing or people who don't know much about investing can watch these videos and understand what to do. If you open up or if you look up any ETF or index, just look up the holdings. Holdings is the list of companies that make up that index or ETF. And it's listed most of the time based on how much of that company, based on the percentage of that ETF each company has, right? So you could invest in an ETF that has heavy amount of the investment in AI stocks. A lot of tech investments or ETFs right now would have pretty much mostly the same top 7, top 8 tech companies, Meta, Nvidia, what are the other ones? Most of the time they're the same, but if you open up the holdings and you want to really focus on ETFs that have a lot more of the AI companies and energy company, because that's another sector, just take a look at those holdings and based on that, invest. So you're still investing in an ETF, you're still investing in an index, but a lot of it is the AI stocks, right? So that's a good way to reduce your risk, benefiting from this AI boom, but not doing so much of a risk, right? And something we're doing to also help us, because we're just two average Joes. It's not like we know this AI business in and out and we can tell what company is about to boom and blow. We just consume content. We consume content that has to do with investment. We not just video content, we read up on articles. And the good and bad thing about our media world right now is the way the algorithm is set up. You watch one and it brings you more. right? It brings you more of the same content. So I consume a lot of investment contents on YouTube, the little time that I have, because it's not like I have all day to be watching videos. And then I also read up on articles. And based on that information, at least I'm exposed to what's going on. And at least I have some kind of, I guess, um, overhead view of what's happening or of the company. Now you have to be careful though, because everyone and their mama is talking about everything online, whether or not they know it. They're discussing it. It's all content. Camera is cheap, microphone is cheap. Anyone can jump on here and act all profesh and act all expert, like they're expert, like they know what they're talking about. You fake it till you make it. So you have to be careful, understand that, and not take everyone's word for it. Heck, you should really go with a mindset of they're not right or they're wrong, and you're going to, and that way you control what you take in, right? So when I watch this content, I'm very aware that it may not necessarily be the point. Based on your point of view, this may be the next Nvidia, this may be the next Palantir, but it may not be too. They don't have a magic ball. So when I say consume content, it's really just for exposure, is to get some sort of high level understanding of what's going on. And then I base my information on an aggregate of all the content I've been consuming. You understand what I mean? So I don't go at it because one person says this is the next big thing. It's based on several things, several things I've read, and maybe if everyone seems to be saying the same thing about the same stock, then okay, then that sounds like it has a good chance. And then I read up on what they do. Like Palantir. All right, well, what does Palantir do? And does it make sense? Because at the end of the day, common sense still needs to work here, right? So Palantir is into data analytics and using AI to aggregate data or to break down data, synthesize data, all that stuff. Makes sense, right? And then, when you know who owns Palantir, and then you're like, oh, there's a good chance that will blow up. Why did I miss this gravy boat? I missed it, and it hurts. It hurts because even if I bought in last year when we bought Nvidia, I would still have made money right now. Oh, it hurts. It still hurts. It's still fresh. The one is still fresh because I was this close. When we bought Nvidia, I heard of Palantir, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be all risky. And now it's just. But anywho, when you consume the content on investing, still do your own homework. Still look up the company to figure out what they do. I mean, that's what we do. We still look it up. What do they do? How does it make sense that in a few years this will blow up, or this is the next Nvidia, right? So be careful with the content you consume to get information, and then do your own homework. A few of the channels that I watch, and I haven't even watched some of them in a while, but actually I'm only going to mention two because those are the ones that I've gotten into lately, even though I haven't watched a couple videos. Mommy Trade Online is a good one. She's a regular mom, a regular mom. She's, just like me on YouTube, and she shares her investment plans every week. She does videos on her investment plans. Investment Simplified, love his channel as well. Started watching him last year as well. So those are, and I also watch Minority Report. He doesn't really go into specific companies he's investing into, but he does, overhead financial content, and that helps. And I'll list some more in the description box below that I watch, some of the financial channel that I watch that help me with decision making. But yeah, we are now changing our MO from just retirement and the safe S&P 500 and VO and the growth ETF to, all right, yeah, let's try it. Let's go into single stocks. Let's go into single companies. I'm not going to say right now which one I'm looking into. Let me know if you want to. I could do another video on that. I could also do another video. I'm actually thinking of doing another video on discussing ETFs in these broad sectors, in say AI sector, energy sector, defense sector, because it's all about really looking at where the business is for the next couple of years, based on this administration's policies and bill. So I think I will do a video on that. I don't know if I'm comfortable yet saying where we invest in yet. A separate video, because right now we're very new at it. We're very new at this stuff. I know I heard of I can't remember right now, and this is live, so I can't like pause and look it up and come back to you. Is it AMD or AS? Can't remember, but I will. I'll do a separate video on the individual stocks that we are interested in and we are investing in. All right. This is a short one, a quick one, just to say, hey, I know I used to preach against single stocks or whatnot, but this is the time. This is the time. We're at a period in time where it's time to jump in. Do what you want to do. Disclaimer, do what you want to do. I'm not advising you to go buy anything. This is the time for us to jump in. You do you. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. I know it's live. I'm still not used to it. Can you tell I'm not 100% myself because I'm like, oh my gosh. All right, people. I will see you in the next video. Bye.